as a direct result of the lack of the pocket. The year before, both Kevin Zeitler and Joel Bitonio were two of the best pass blocking guards in the league. They lose Zeitler in the trade. Things trickled down. They didn't run the football as well to start the season last year. So I thought that reflected poorly on Baker Mayfield. I thought he got flushed out of the pocket way too many times, didn't trust it, didn't sit in there, and too many times it was collapsing. So Jack Conklin, a big-time upgrade for them. He was probably one of the best run-blocking tackles in the league last year. Obviously, Derrick Henry helped, but let's not forget about Nick Chubb. He had a phenomenal season last year, and I think he might be their most important offensive player. So why not bring in a Jack Conklin that can help out that run game? Obviously, Jack Conklin, his pass set, it's not the prettiest thing. Taylor Lewan's probably the picture-perfect pass set. Jack Conklin just kind of like, wow, that's really your pass set, but he is effective and it gets it done. I like the culture that he brings with him, too. So this will definitely help that offense out. I think the challenge for Kevin Stefanski is, all right, let's make sure we're a run-first offense to put Baker in the best position to get the ball down the field.
And also the best position to learn the offense, get acclimated to it. And the way you address that is you go out, Kim, and you get a guy like Case Keenum.
Yeah, the Case Keenum signing by the Browns is fascinating to me. I also, Kareem Hunt, by the way, with Nick Chubb. We all thought, or I thought, that after Hunt served that suspension last year, that he would join a Browns team that was rolling and he would make them even better. Well, they weren't rolling. They were never rolling. But he and Nick Chubb should be an incredible tandem in their second season together. So we'll see how that part goes. But the Case Keenum signing, 3 years, $19 million. He's going to be the kind of guy that Baker, I think, will welcome and really like having in that room. A veteran who's seen a lot. He's also someone who could step in if need be. But I think Case Keenum's an interesting signing, Judy, because it's a backup who has started, who can start in this league. And we all know that Baker and the rest of the Browns have to have a much better season this coming year.
Yeah, and getting Austin Hooper is a big deal because he became a serious threat in Atlanta, and they will certainly utilize him in the tight ends.
Yeah, I think the common theme in all of these signings is they're trying to do things to help Baker Mayfield be successful, right? And Austin Hooper can do that. Two-time Pro Bowler. Kevin Stefanski historically has liked to use two tight ends, right? Give Baker Mayfield some easy throws. Get the offense in rhythm. We didn't see a whole lot of that last year. There weren't a whole lot of easy throws for Baker. The offense never looked like it had a rhythm. So that's what these signings are all about. Giving Baker Mayfield some comfort. I agree with Kim about Case Keenum. He's the right kind of guy to have in that quarterback room that Baker can learn from. He could certainly step in if need be, but I think it's also a support system for Baker Mayfield. Again, I think they're trying to lower the volume on this team and just go back to fundamental football. Give Baker Mayfield an easier time.
And listen, guys, their problem last year wasn't talent. It wasn't even really personnel except the offensive line, and that's a big except, and they are addressing that with Andrew Berry. And you have to like that he obviously recognizes that and is doing something about it. But their issue last year was execution and discipline. And that's where Stefanski comes in big time, and that's where player responsibility comes in big time as well.
Baker said it himself over and over again. Discipline was a huge problem with that.
They need that, Sean.
No doubt about it. And obviously the talent is certainly there with Jarvis Landry, with Odell Beckham. I mean, two of the most explosive and physical receivers in the game. Just couldn't find a way to get some rhythm and get him there. I think Case Keenum, here's another interesting wrinkle to that signing. All right, if you're Kevin Stefanski, you're trying to implement a new offense. It's all new language. It's all new formations and personnel. How do you get Baker Mayfield reps with that? Well, just think about it. If this offseason is basically shot and you don't have a chance to meet together as a team, if players have to go out and find a way to orchestrate their own practices, well, guess what? Case Keenum can go with Baker and they can orchestrate these practices, and Case knows the offense because he was with Kevin in Minnesota. So you've got two quarterbacks now that can ping pong off each other. Hey, here's how we're going to call it. Here's the formations. Here's the personnel groupings. Here's what it sounds like. Here's what the rhythm and the cadence is going to be. Case Keenum is going to provide a lot of value, and it's going to be a lot of it off the field.
And Baker has slimmed down as well, so you can tell that he's taken this really serious and now the Heat is going
Don't
to...
ever
These are
trust.
prideful guys. These
Yeah,
are
but-
prideful guys in Cleveland. They don't just think, let's throw the ball up and see if we have success. These are athletes who expect to be successful. I think they're all going to come in with a better mindset.
Yeah,
Well, I don't want to hear about Baker Mayfield losing weight, man. Don't ever trust a skinny Baker.
You don't?
There you go.
You don't, Sean. I mean...
Bravo, Sean.
Yeah,
Bravo.
well done out of you. And we still have another hour. How much fun is that for us? Bill Belichick, not fun for him because Tom Brady's not
look at
walking
them.
with him.
How about Charlie Weiss with the shot out right there? Do you see that?
Yes,
Yep,
we
they
saw
were both
that.
happy that day, too.
Well, what we now know about who could be under center for the Pats in 20.
They look so happy.
He does. Happier times, right? So we thought. Much more ahead on Free Agency.
There's Joe
Wednesday. Presented by Nike.
It's hard to see when you're outside at night, but it's such a pain to install a light. Hi, I'm Hunter Ellis, and this is Atomic Beam Sunblast, the new solar-powered light that's super bright. Atomic Beam Sunblast lets you add a light anywhere. No wires, no pliers. Just stick it up. The industrial adhesive mounts to almost any surface instantly. And the atomic solar panels charge the built-in lithium-ion battery quickly, even on a cloudy day. That means no electricity bill and no batteries to replace. Then the motion sensor turns on the light when you get near and automatically turns off the light when you disappear. This state-of-the-art sensor can detect movement from up to 25 feet away, so it's a great security light too. Look, here's a best-selling outdoor solar light, and here's the super bright Atomic Beam Sunblast. Just look at the difference. And our unique wide-angle design covers much more ground, lighting the sides as well as in front. Stick it up on the garage, and it turns on when you pull in, then turns off when you're gone. The heavy-duty construction is weatherproof, so it shines bright all year round. And the super bright LED flat panels can last a lifetime without burning out. Get the super bright Atomic Beam Sunblast today for only $19.99. But wait, call right now and you can get a second Atomic Beam Sunblast plus our best-selling Atomic Beam flashlight. The super bright tactical flashlight that lights up an entire room and can take a beating. Just pay a separate fee. That's 2 Atomic Beam Sunblasts and the Atomic Beam flashlight. So light up the night with Atomic Beam Sunblast. Call now.
Call 1-800-350-6798. That's 1-800-350-6798. Or visit bysunblast.com. So call 1-800-350-6798. Order now.
I was in, y'all's situation. My sophomore year, I got arrested. We have kids feeling like they need to commit crimes because their house is not stable, no support system. So what you supposed to do? Everything can change, man. You got to show somebody that you really care, that you trying to change. I started this foundation to help you reach your goals, no matter if we have to dish out 100 school books, 100 book bags. Tough times don't last, tough people do.
For the first time in 50 years, the Kansas City Chiefs are world champions.
They're going to talk about this forever, baby. They're going to talk about this forever.
Mahomes keeps it! Only official film of their historic 2019 season.
Runs to immortality and will be remembered forever in the Chiefs' kingdom. Kansas City, you've got a champion. Thank you, Kansas City. We did it, baby.
Super Bowl 54 champions. Own it today on Blu-ray Combo and digital.
Hi, and welcome back to Free Agency Frenzy, presented by Nike here on NFL Network. We are at NFL Films in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. They've been treating us right. I'm Will Selva, ready to fill you in on all the moves happening around the league, and there's certainly a lot of them. But here to hang for another hour, my friends, my comrades, Judy Batista, Sean O'Hara, and Kim Jones, and we're doing the special 4-box. We are the
Quad box. Come on, get it together.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
Will Scott
Jeez.
Hansen is twitching right now.
Jeez, I'm just trying to do my best here.
Quad box.
Let's
go. I'll let your boy and ladies.
Well, let's begin with the GOAT here, shall we? He has agreed to join the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and according to our NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport, he'll make roughly $30 million a year, and we're still waiting on the deal, of course, to become official. But all signs point to Brady playing in Tampa next season. So where do the Patriots go from here? Well, inquiring minds want to know. So we bring in our insiders, Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, and Mike Garafolo. And Ian, what is the latest on Brady?
Well, he's going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't think there's really any surprise there. This is a deal that's basically been done for more than a day now, ever since Tuesday night, if I got my days correct. I don't even know what day today is, but I think that was Tuesday night. Anyway, Tom Brady's going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's going to make almost $30 million per year on a multi-year deal. But finishing out this deal, getting him to sign it, has been a little bit complicated, mainly because of the coronavirus and the way the NFL and the NFLPA have worked it out. Teams are not allowed to send a private plane to go get a player, bring him back and do a physical. They're not allowed to travel to him and do a physical that way. He's not allowed in the team facility. So the issue of how is Tom Brady going to get his physical is something that seems to be one of the issues, probably the only issue, holding up this deal, which is basically done, agreed to, and finalized, but Brady has not yet signed. And of course, he's not alone on this. This is why so many of these free agent deals are only agreed in principle rather than signed and officially announced.
You know, that's an excellent point to remind people. So we know about Brady's future. What's the future of the quarterback position in New England, Tom?
Well, we first have to talk about the guys on the roster, specifically Jarrett Stidham, fourth-round draft pick last year out of Auburn. Scouts regarded him coming out as a gifted natural passer, but the numbers weren't great in his final season with the Tigers, and there were questions just about how he would handle in terms of pocket presence when the rush was on him. How did he react? I asked somebody who's familiar with the Patriots' thinking on this about Stidham the other day, is he ready? And the response I got was, nobody can say that for certain right now. He does have one advantage here in what is setting up as a very unusual offseason in which the NFL may not really have an off-season program in terms of OTAs, board work in the spring, all those things you normally do. Stidham at least knows the offense. He knows the terminology. That gives him a leg up on some of the other guys the Patriots could bring in. The other thing to keep in mind here, at this point with all the deals that have already been done, supply outweighs demand. In other words, there are not many teams right now looking for a veteran starting quarterback. So between Andy Dalton and Cam Newton and Jameis Winston, who's a free agent, the Patriots have options here and at least have the possibility, depending how honed in they are on one person, to kind of look at all the different options, figure out what's going to make the best sense economically and otherwise for their roster moving forward.
Which is why they're taking their time, and it's just like the Patriots, isn't it, to do the opposite of what everybody expected. Everybody thinks, okay, Tom Brady leaves, and now you've got to panic and scramble and make a move. Well, that's the worst thing that you can do in this situation because, like Tom said, there's really no need for a rush at this point. And if you do that, now you're taking away the leverage that you would have in potential trade negotiations. And it sounds like people have been pushing or trying to push quarterbacks on the Patriots because they feel like they're in a desperate spot here. So New England taking its time, letting it play out. There's really no rush because I don't know when our spring program is going to start anyway with the NFL. We don't know what the rules are going to be. Can you send somebody a playbook and maybe they can go over it virtually? There's not going to be these offseason workouts. Who knows if OTAs are going to be affected? This is all a process right now that is being written as we're going through it. So if New England takes its sweet time here, while everybody is wondering who the successor is going to be, that part would not surprise me.
Yes, we'll wait in suspense to see what they do, but we know that Bill Belichick already has a plan already in place. Gentlemen, as always, we appreciate it. And so right now the Patriots are looking at life without Tom Brady, and they have to figure out who is going to be now the starting quarterback. And as Jeezy just broke down, they could take their time as the rest of us throw out some names and potential fits there. And Judy, if you're looking at this quarterback situation, and we have been for the past now couple of days, what do you think the Patriots do next?
Well, one thing I'm certain of that they're not doing is Bill Belichick is not running around his office at Gillette Stadium with his hair on fire right now, right? He was certainly prepared for the possibility that Tom Brady was not going to be his quarterback going forward. There's no rush. There's no rush. The market has absolutely ground to a halt. There's a glut of veteran quarterbacks available. They don't have to rush. They don't play a game for almost 6 months. Who knows if there's going to be any kind of offseason work. They've got plenty of time to figure this out, to let it sort itself out. They don't have to make a move. I will go back to what Mike Giardi has been saying repeatedly over the last few weeks about Jarrett Stidham. They like him. They like what they've seen in practice. They think he's a good thrower of the ball. You have no idea how he's going to be in the heat of the moment. Can he win you a game on a 2-minute drill in an opposing stadium? There's no way to know that until he has to do it. So you're flying blind with him, but they've got plenty of time to figure this out.
Yeah, from what we've seen, it looks like he's got the mechanics, etc., but we just don't know enough about him. And, Kim, I know there's a lot of people that feel bad for the Patriots and Bill Belichick.
Yeah, especially everyone else in the AFC East, right?
Yes.
Where they're thinking, is this the year? Wait a minute, one of them's gone at least. You know, I think that when you look at the Patriots situation, and I'm no expert on their salary cap, but they don't have a lot of room to maneuver there. You do wonder if this becomes a young quarterback competition for Bill Belichick and very much a teaching year for Josh McDaniels. And I'm just throwing that out there, knowing that they don't necessarily have the money to spend right now to get a big quarterback. If they did, maybe they still would have the big quarterback in Tom Brady. So I do wonder if this becomes really unprecedented. We know in many ways this is unprecedented. This is the first time in a long, long, long time that the Patriots could have the quarterback with the least experience in their division. And
Sean,
that certainly could happen. And if it does, it's going to be even more fascinating.
And, Sean, you have thrown out the names. We've heard them. Andy Dalton, maybe Jameis Winston calls up Bill Belichick and says, hey, I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to do whatever it is that you want. How would you approach this if you were in his shoes, or his hoodie, if you want to call it that?
Well, yeah, if we throw the hood up, I would do what Judy was talking about and just sit and wait on it. You know, I mean, there's no rush for anything. The Andy Dalton thing, I think if you look at the landscape, you know, that could make sense. But you wait for it, because the value for Andy Dalton, if the Bengals take Joe Burrow in 1 overall, now the value for Andy Dalton completely changes. As of right now, it's still, you know, you're not really sure, although we think they're going to go with Joe Burrow. So that could change. The value for Cam Newton is going to look totally different a month, 2 months from now. Same thing with Jameis Winston. So I could see them waiting for some of that to come down, but I also could see them, you know, drafting a quarterback later on. It may not be a first-round pick that they're going to use on a quarterback, but there are some other good quarterbacks coming out. Keep in mind, Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick, so they have no problem trying to find some gems hidden in the rough.
Will, can I just add one thing?
Sure.
We have seen Bill Belichick shape-shift his team in the middle of a season, right? Last year, they were winning with defense and special teams. We've seen them do a running offense. Don't be surprised if we see him do that to start the season.
All right, and let's go back to our NFL Network insider, Ian Rappaport. And, Ian, you have breaking news for us. What do you have?
We do have some breaking news. The Philadelphia Eagles have made a big-time splash in free agency. Sources say they have just completed a trade for former Lions star cornerback Darius Slay. Big play Slay is going to Philadelphia. My understanding is that he is going to get a new deal to make him among the highest-paid cornerbacks in the NFL. This deal, Darius Slay heading to the Philadelphia Eagles, has been in the works for months. These two sides talked intensely right up at the trade deadline. Were not able to get something done. As soon as free agency came about, the Eagles went back at it. They also had, the Lions did, some other teams interested. The Oakland Raiders had talks as well. But really, since late last night, this has all been about the Eagles and the Lions. And just minutes ago, sources say it is a done deal. The Eagles have landed Darius Slay.
All right, big play Slay now in Philadelphia. Ian Rappaport with the very latest, checking his phone as he does. Give us more information if you've got it, Ian. We are here to hear it, and we have plenty more show for you ahead. Of course, the QB situation in Chicago just got a whole lot more interesting. Big news for the Bears and Nick Foles, how that came about. And is Mitchell Trubisky going to be the starter, or is it going to be that man right there, Nick Foles? We'll discuss that and more ahead on Free Agency Frenzy, presented by Nike.
Tonight on NFL Total Access, they put up over 28 points a game. They gave up over 28 points a game. What's a winning formula for TV in TV? Plus, the uncertain future of Baker Mayfield. Tonight, 7 Eastern.
I'm so sorry, Preston T. I need to follow my heart.
I know I'm not the smartest or the fastest.
I'm going with Frankie C.
Jake from State Farm?
Here's the deal. She's not the one for you. Sure, she's got that cool apartment, that brand new car, but she doesn't have good insurance. If she's not gonna protect all her stuff with State Farm, how's she gonna protect her heart? When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The difficult part for me was starting. I've lost about 20 pounds, which blows my mind.
The psychology aspect of Noom was different than I'd ever seen before.
Noom helped me make a couple of lifestyle changes that made achieving that goal very easy. It's a whole mentality change. Now I've lost 10 pounds.
Down 22 pounds. 57 pounds. That's a lot of weight.
Just to know that you feel yourself again, it makes me so happy and proud. Visit Noom.com and change your life for good.
Did you know 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. faces hunger, and 13 million kids go home not knowing where their next meal will come from? That's why for more than a decade, America's dairy farmers and the NFL have been committed to getting food to kids who need it. Since the program started, more than 3 billion additional breakfasts have been served to kids in schools across the country. Find out more about how dairy farmers in the NFL are helping kids have better health and wellness by visiting fueluptoplay60.com.
Thank you.
Oh, come on.
Are those your bank fees?
Yeah, first there's the overdraft, and then the maintenance fee, which I don't know what they maintain.
You should start banking with Chime. They're a mobile bank account with no hidden fees.
Banking with no hidden fees?
Yep. And I get paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit.
Wish I was banking with Chime.
It's super easy.
I like easy. Excuse me.
Start banking with Chime today at Chime.com.
This is Kate.
Hey.
She takes 2 prescriptions. Kate's son Jack takes 1 too. Kate works hard and thought she had good insurance. But she still pays too much. That's no good. So Kate downloaded the GoodRx app. Now she can compare prescription prices to find the best discounts. She even beats her insurance price. Good for you, Kate. Good for you. GoodRx. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today.
All right, so Nick Foles now in Chicago, and there is going to be certainly a lot of chatter about what his presence is going to do.
Wow, we're number 9,
Mitchell Trubisky. What do you think, Jim McMahon?
Jim McMahon's number. Where's the headband?
How great would it be, though, if Foles wore a headband in his honor?
And did a rap video.
It would say
a little
Roger
shuffle.
instead of Roselle.
Yes. Would it say Pluto on there, too?
Super Bowl shuffle.
We need that. Where's Fensick? Where's Suey? This is all that we need right now. What we do need right now at this very moment is our Tom Pelissero. And Tom, give us the details as to how this Foles to Chicago deal went down.
Well, Jacksonville had had talks for weeks about moving on from Nick Foles, who, of course, suffered an injury last season, a broken collarbone that short-circuited his tenure with the Jaguars. They paid him $30.5 million down there for 1 season. Now move on for a 4th-round draft pick as Jacksonville goes into a total overhaul mode, even more so having already moved a couple of their stalwarts on defense, A.J. Boye and Calais Campbell. Now the big question is, how does this all play out in Chicago with Foles and former number 2 overall pick Mitch Trubisky? Many times in the past several months, Bears officials, including General Manager Ryan Pace, Coach Matt Nagy, have stood behind Trubisky, even in the face of struggles and public criticism, saying he is our guy, he is our franchise quarterback. At minimum, they have now brought in a veteran to push Trubisky, an insurance plan if Trubisky continues to be up and down in terms of his play, and perhaps they end up with a new starting quarterback even as soon as week 1. Silence from the Bears so far on what this means, but it's obvious when you give up that level of compensation for a veteran quarterback who is making that type of guaranteed money, Foles will very much be in the mix to be the Bears quarterback in 2020.
No, they are not messing around. They know that window is right now. Tom Pelissero breaking it down for us. And so You look at Foles and his track record. He ends up getting a statue, for crying out loud, in Philadelphia, beloved there for what he did in bringing a Super Bowl title to the city. But when you see the fact that Foles is now going to be there joining Trubisky, it's just not a lot of confidence there. And if you're Trubisky, you better be ready, because this is coming at you, and it's coming at you hard with Foles. Granted, Foles doesn't have this alpha dog personality, but either way, Judy, this is go time now for Trubisky.
Well, I want you to think of another team in the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans.
Yep.
They brought in Ryan Tannehill last year, and he eventually supplanted Marcus Mariota, and they went to the AFC Championship game. I'm not saying the Bears are going to the NFC Championship game, but that's the kind of thing you could easily see happening, the Bears. Nick Foles is not the kind of guy who's going to blow up the locker room. He's going to be supportive of Mitch Trubisky. He'll be good working with Mitch Trubisky, but you don't bring in a Super Bowl MVP making that kind of money to sit on the bench if Mitch Trubisky stumbles even once. This is going to be Nick Foles' job at some point, unless Trubisky turns into Jim McMahon, as we were just talking about. I have to think Foles is the quarterback within a few weeks, if he's not the quarterback coming out of training camp.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the Chicago Bears team, I mean, last season was a far cry from the team 2 years ago that led the league defensively in turnovers, made life easy on both Nagy and Mitch Trubisky. But I just look within this division. Look at this NFC North. All right, who are you playing every single time you play a divisional opponent? You're playing Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, and Kirk Cousins. 3 quarterbacks that could sling it. So at some point in time, you're going to need a quarterback that's going to have to win the games with his arm. That's who Nick Foles is. So I think if you're Nagy and you're Ryan Pace with the Bears, you've got to find a way to make your team better. Competition at the quarterback position is a must. You've got to find a way to get more football and better football out of Mr. Trubisky. And if you can't do that, then you've got to have somebody that can step in and win some big games for you. I called the game last year. Eagles, Bears. Mitch Trubisky, I mean, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. He was struggling offensively to get some rhythm. He had one completion in the entire first half. They had negative 10 yards in that first half. And you could just feel that offensively as a play caller, man, it was a struggle to get him in a rhythm. It was a struggle. You felt like you had to move the pocket, get him out on the roll, and then it was basically shrinking the field in half. And Nick Foles, he opens up things for you if you're an offensive coordinator. So I think it's a great move for the Chicago Bears. They got better as a team, regardless of who ends up playing quarterback.
Listen, I think, first of all, times have changed. I mean, our immediate lives have changed, but I'm speaking beyond that. I'm speaking NFL times have changed. When you look at the idea, Mitch Trubisky, the number 2 overall pick in 2017, and the patience, to me, has already run out in terms of the Chicago Bears. That is fascinating when you think about how long it often takes quarterbacks not named Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson to acclimate into a franchise role. Now, Trubisky is not helped by the fact that he's in the same draft as Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, both taken after him. That doesn't help his comps, and I understand that. And Trubisky hasn't helped himself at many times with his play. But we are now at a point where we have very little patience. That does not help a quarterback like Trubisky right now, and you could argue he hasn't earned it. One other thing I'm wondering as we talk about the Jaguars making this trade, are the Jaguars thinking of Trevor Lawrence already? That is something that is going to bear watching as this season takes shape, knowing what is out there in next year's NFL draft.
You've been hanging out with Sean O'Hara way too long because he's the conspiracy theorist amongst the 4 of us. Not you, Kim Jones. Not you.
Well, maybe a voice of reason.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can look at it that way as well. So, Judy,
I'm kidding. I'm
kidding. No, definitely. So, Judy, you look at this situation here with the Bears. I mean, they were on top of the world, 12-4. Nagy, he is the coach of the year. And now here he is feeling the heat and bringing in Nick Foles. This seems to be, I guess, if you want to characterize it as desperate, but either way, a much-needed one that I think some Bears fans are welcoming.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to use the word desperation, but Kim was just talking about the lack of patience with quarterbacks. Well, there's an even greater lack of patience with head coaches in this league. You don't get very long to develop anybody. You don't get very long to win. They won quickly, and now it has tailed off dramatically. They are on the hot seat. The jobs are on the line in Chicago. They had to do something. It's important that Nick Foles knows the key people on the offensive side of the ball. They have familiarity with him. They're not taking a flyer on some guy they've never seen play up close before. They're taking a guy that they know can win, who has won with them. That's why I think you're going to see an awful lot of Nick Foles this year.
Yeah, certainly a lot of pressure on Nagy, this offense. It's not just a quarterback fix, though. I think when you go back and look at this Bears offense, they didn't run the football like they had previously. Obviously, Jordan Howard leaving and going to the Philadelphia Eagles changed some of that. They had the young running back Montgomery, who was a darn good player. But the offensive line didn't play very well. Kyle Long just retired, so they're going to have to fix that and fill that void. But this run game is going to have to improve. Obviously, with Tariq Cohen, he's a dangerous guy out of the backfield, but they just didn't have that complementary football to go along with it, and that's part of the reason why we saw Mitch Trubisky struggle as well.
Well, and listen, Nick Foles knows that coaching staff at least as well as Trubisky.
Yep.
Because quarterbacks coach John DeFilippo just got there, and he has worked extensively with Foles. So there's no drop-off there. In fact, like I said, Foles probably knows them as a group even better.
And the thing is, he really thrives on RPOs as well. One thing we've got to get Foles, start a movement to have him wear the headband, the Oakleys, just represent McMahon, right?
If anyone can start that movement, Will, it is you.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Sean,
in commercial breaks, you show it.
Come on,
don't do it on the air.
Come on, Sean, you've been radio silent. Come on.
Will, you've got a headband. Bust it out.
And my leg warmers as well. Are you implying something? I like to work out.
He's going to wear a headband, or he's going to toss that ball over that mountain over there.
Oh, he was unpredictable, and he was definitely entertaining. Also entertaining, Deshaun Watson. There's always that one trade that makes it say, wait, what? And this week, it was DeAndre Hopkins. Look out for the Cardinals. Next on Free Agency Frenzy, presented by Nike.
All Tyson Anytizers chicken is raised with no antibiotics ever. They're a great decision for snack time. Allowing the band to practice at your house? Not a great decision. Keep it real. Keep it Tyson Anytizers.
Hello, son.
Dad, not cool.
You know what's not uncool? Old Spice After Hours and jazz.
Dad, I prefer Ultra Smooth. It handles sweat without all that jazz.
You're right, son.
A well-balanced life deserves a well-balanced beer. Lower carbs, lower calories. Corona Premier.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But not for your clients. That's why we're a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first.
So what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios?
Nope. We tailor portfolios to our clients' needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right?
We don't have those.
So what's in it for you?
Our fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Come see into the delicious world of KFC's $20 fill-ups. Choose from original recipe, extra crispy, or tenders. Get it with all the fixins and feed your whole family for just $20. Now hurry up and choose. You're hungry. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
I started transitioning out of the Army to spend more time with the family. The Army has been an awesome experience, but after we had Roman, we wanted to move closer to home. I found this job as an operations manager on LinkedIn. They were recruiting veterans with my experience. I applied, and I ended up getting a job. I'm starting a new chapter in my life, and it's all about family.
Calling all grassmasters, fescue fanatics, and stewards of St. Augustine. To the springtime sprawlers, backyard scholars, and cultivators of the cul-de-sac. Whether you're a rookie or a pro, run with us. For all the green thumbers, newcomers, and toy picker-uppers, run with us on a John Deere mower. Because this is more than just grass. It's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Save $300 on the X370 Select Series lawn tractor at your John Deere dealer today.
If my life is about making music, my drive needs to be all about hearing it.
You have to rely on your gear, the way it feels, the way it does exactly what you need it to do.
The F-Pace, how Jaguar
Makes an SUV.
For great offers, visit your Jaguar retailer during the Impeccable Timing sales event.
Welcome to the NFL Draft. This is what an MVP does. There goes Barkley. Oh, baby.
He's the best pass rusher in this year's draft.
The Heisman winner, the champion, Joe Burrow, arguably the best college football season ever.
Chase Young.
He's tough. He's an instant playmaker.
The legend of Tua has begun.
Justin Herbert is going to end with a Pac-12 championship and a Rose Bowl victory.
With the first pick.
Well, DeAndre Hopkins is now an Arizona Cardinal. He was traded by the Houston Texans there to the desert. Well, he'll be joined by Larry Fitzgerald and Christian Kirk and Kyler Murray and Kenyon Drake. That offense that they are building, they are trying to mold it for Cliff Kingsbury and this offense and trying to get the O-line going as well. The Cardinals now look out in that NFC West division because it's got a whole lot tougher, that's for sure, as we're rejoined by our Mike Garafolo. And Mike, what do we think of the moves that Arizona has made out there in the desert?
Yeah, listen, they're starting to fill in that roster that was in need of a lot of work when Cliff Kingsbury arrived, and now they're starting to feel a lot better about these things with the addition, like you said, of DeAndre Hopkins. And a move that's probably going to go a little bit under the radar, but signing Devon Kennard from the Giants from the Lions, former Giant, to a 3-year, $20 million deal the other day, agreeing to terms on that after the Lions moved on from him. This is the kind of presence that they need in the locker room. This is a respected guy, a team leader, was a union rep. So he's going to step over there. And I'm surprised that the Lions moved on from him or really were unable to find a trade partner for him. He's coming off back-to-back 7-sack seasons. So he's a productive guy. Like I said, a leader, a quality guy that in your locker room. I think this is going to be one of those under the radar. You're never going to quite talk about this one as one of the sexiest signings of the 2020 free agency period, but I think this is a big one for them.
Yeah, that's a big deal, the way that they have changed there in the desert. Exciting times for Cliff Kingsbury and company. So when we look at the roster now, it has changed dramatically with DeAndre Hopkins now, and the offense that Cliff Kingsbury wants to run also is improving with an O-line. DJ Humphrey's now there, and now they're likely going to actually draft an offensive lineman with their pick, Sean.
Yeah, you would hope so if you're Kyler Murray. Obviously, I think he spent the first half of the season running away from guys, but you look in that division, Will. I mean, the NFC West is loaded with pass rushers. Obviously, the 49ers, they're like gremlins, man. You just throw a little water on them, and they just start multiplying. Yes. So they've got guys coming out of the yin-yang. And then when you look at Seattle, I mean, obviously, Clowney, that situation's still up in the air, but they have always had a good defense, always had guys that get after you. If they re-sign Clowney, obviously, that's a big factor. But then you have the Rams with Aaron Donald. He's a game wrecker by himself. But I think that the Arizona Cardinals, they've got to find a way to protect Kyler Murray. They're going to throw the ball even more this year than they did last year with this trade with DeAndre Hopkins, which could be scary. But I think this offense should look a lot more competent in year 2, but they need some help up front.
Offensive line is an issue, but Kim, let's just make this fun. They need another wide receiver, right? There's one that you have your eye on that you love. Let's just do it. Let's just break through this.
Let's break through.
Yes,
Let's go crazy. Yes. We got minutes remaining. Here we go.
Come on now. Let's go.
Here is my hope.
Yes.
For Cliff Kingsbury, Steve Keim, and especially Kyler Murray, that they still go ahead and draft C.D. Lamb, reunite him with Kyler. They were together at Oklahoma. It doesn't really matter if they were together before or not, but they were. I understand that, but that's more. Okay, that's boring. Stop. So, and here's another thing. Here's another thing I love about Arizona. First of all, you know, we saw Kyler run away from people a lot last season. I do understand they need the tackle. That's the smart move, the prudent move. I get that, but.
Good save.
Yes.
Cliff Kingsbury is doing something that I think a lot of us kind of shrugged our shoulders, maybe some rolled their eyes and said, can he really do it with that offense? Give them credit for this. In Arizona, they are doing it their way. Gosh darn it. Josh Rosen, after a year, out. Kyler Murray in, and they are doing what they absolutely should do if you're going to select Kyler Murray, and that is make it his offense and commit entirely. I greatly respect that they're doing that. And listen, they got a 4-leaf clover the morning that Bill O'Brien decided to deal DeAndre Hopkins for that price, a second rounder. So they got a magician at receiver. They have an older statesman, obviously, in Larry Fitzgerald. Christian Kirk's the young guy. I can wish for CD just because it would be so much fun, guys, to see defenses say, what the heck are we going to do against this Cardinals offense?
Murray had a little lamb.
I want to endorse that because this is all about us, and I want to see that offense too. So CD Lamb, make it happen.
Let's do it. Let's do it, Cliff. All in.
Come on, we're with you.
All in.
Let me just give you some stats on why CD Lamb doesn't sound like a crazy guy to think. Last year, they averaged only 217 passing yards per game. That was 24th in the league. Not really that great, even though Kyler Murray was their offensive rookie of the year. He only averaged 7.1 yards per attempt. Not that great. You got to do better than that if you're going to win in the NFL. So, CD Lamb, let's make this happen.
All right, so Kim, that's it. That's the segment.
I feel like I've won you guys over.
Yeah, no, I'm in. I
might be done. I might do a mic drop. I might honestly, be done. I've won you guys over.
Drop Mike G.
We supposedly have a couple more minutes left, so Sean, what's your
time, Sean?
On now having
that's what Will's trying to
DeAndre Hopkins? I'm just trying to play the time cop here. What do you think, Sean?
Well, I think for DeAndre Hopkins, it sounds like, he should end up getting a new contract out of this too, which was really the instigator in a lot of this stuff. So, while it's tough to change teams and change sceneries, I think for DeAndre Hopkins, he's always taken the high road, one of the classiest guys in the NFL. So I think the Houston Texans, look, people on the outside are saying, I can't believe you gave him away. And I think people inside the building and inside the locker room are saying, I can't believe you gave our dude away. He's one of those good guys. So the locker room for Arizona just got better, and so did the playing field.
What do we think of the development of Kyler Murray as well? I mean, he came in, definitely had his rookie growing pains, but Judy, we see the talent there that's evident. He's accurate and places that ball where it needs to be, because if you look back at those games against the 49ers, they gave him all they could handle, even despite the O-line issues.
Yeah, I think we saw glimpses of what Kyler Murray can be. Again, the stats were underwhelming, but he was the offensive rookie of the year for a reason. I thought he showed real poise. He was running for his life, especially early in the season, but he really sort of kept it together, and I thought elevated his game even as the season went on. And now you've added one of the great weapons in the NFL, not just a weapon, but one of the top 1, 2, 3 receivers in the entire league. And of course, you've got Larry Fitzgerald there too. Look, I think this is going to be a much better looking, much better operating offense in year 2. Again, they have the advantage of they already know the playbook. DeAndre Hopkins will have to get up to speed on it because there might not be much of an off-season program. But I like what they're doing in Arizona. I feel good about the trajectory they're on.
And don't forget Kyler Murray's baseball background, which while everyone was just watching and listening to what Judy was saying as we were playing that B-roll, you could see throws in there that are Mahomes-esque and are baseball throws. Don't forget about that. He's not Mahomes. I'm not comparing him to him as a quarterback, but he certainly has his own unique ability to get rid of that ball, whether it's sidearm, whether it's over the top, but whatever he needs to do, even at his height, he finds a way to do it. I can't wait to watch Cardinals games this season, and I can't wait to see how the schedule makers treat the Arizona Cardinals, because they're going to be really fun to watch.
Yes, they are. And if they get CD Lamb and your wish is granted,
please.
Yes, that would be fun to see. But Sean obviously doesn't care. He wants to see the O-line.
No, I'm curious to see if Murray has a little lamb too.
Kyler has a little lamb.
What?
Or a big lamb. Actually, he's big.
Nice. Hey, we are following breaking news. Darius Slay on his way to Philly. Our NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport has the numbers and what this means for an Eagles team going through some serious changes. All that and much, much more. Puns ahead. Nothing but puns.
Join Commissioner Roger Goodell in continuing support for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Post a video of yourself running the 40 from now to the NFL Draft with hashtag #RunRichRun, and $5 will be donated for every upload. Don't miss out on your chance to help St. Jude kids.
My mom actually was a nurse at St. Jude. She would come home and tell us the stories of all the children that she got to work with on a daily basis. We were taught and raised that we all exist here on this planet to benefit others. That's how my wife and I feel when we give to St. Jude every month. Our giving is right up there with our mortgage. That's the priority that we put on giving to St. Jude.
Oh no, your lawn is a nightmare with pet spots and dead spots everywhere. Laying sod is a backbreaking chore and spreading seed is a pain. Birds eat the seed and it's washed away by rain. Not anymore. Now there's GrowTrax, the amazing professional grade grass growing technology you simply roll, water, and watch it grow. For a great looking lawn you're going to love. Look closer. GrowTrax merges seed science with high-tech turf technology, embedding thousands of seeds into a biodegradable, high-absorption compost fabric that retains water, so seeds stay moist and secure while keeping birds at bay and heavy rain washouts away. This is the same revolutionary roll-out fast-growth formula used by elite golf courses and resorts, and now it's finally available in a residential roll for your lawn. Just roll, water, and watch it grow, and you'll see why GrowTrax received the prestigious Best New Product Award. GrowTrax absorbs and holds up to 6 times its own weight, so you water less and grow more. Under ideal growing conditions, GrowTrax can simply grow past other grass seeds. Get rid of pet spots like magic. Erase worn footpaths. Grow grass in the shade and under trees with ease. And using GrowTrax on hills and slopes is a breeze. Watch as we place GrowTrax directly on concrete without a speck of soil, and in days it grows like crazy. It's like grass seed on steroids. It's award-winning and American-made to grow anywhere in the direct sun or shade. And now GrowTrax in this convenient 25-square-foot roll is yours for just $19.95. But wait, order now and we'll supersize your order to our large 50-square-foot roll at no extra charge. That's double the coverage, and you get it all at the Landscapers Direct discounted price of just $19.95. And for large lots and really big jobs, roll on over to our website for great GrowTrax bonus deals and discounts. Call or click now to get your supersized roll of revolutionary GrowTrax so you can roll, water, and watch it grow. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-505-3775. That's 1-800-505-3775, or go to buygrowtrax.com.
All we gotta do is do our job. We live for this. Steps up, got running room.
We're counting down the top 10 games of the year.
Touchdown, Titans! Oh, what a play! Unbelievable! End zone, it is caught!
The 49ers are gonna win the game!
Relive the moments that made the NFL's 100th season unforgettable.
Chiefs are champions of Super Bowl 54!
The top 10 games of the year on NFL Network.
So we've been following the breaking news out of Philadelphia because heading there is one Darius Slay, the cornerback, goes to Philadelphia for 2 picks. And Slay ends up receiving a nice deal, to say the least. 3 years, $50 million from Philadelphia. This according to our NFL Network insider, Ian Rappaport. So Jenkins is out, Slay is in, and when you look at Slay and how he's played certain receivers like Amari Cooper, he's certainly a shutdown corner that knows how to deal with somebody like Amari Cooper, who he's going to be seeing twice a season. So what do you think of this move here, Sean?
Yeah, Will, it's a big move for the Eagles, and Darius Slay's been one of the best corners the last 3 years. 3-time Pro Bowler. He leads the league in pass breakups since 2017, so he's been very active. I think you couple him with one of the best run defenses in the game last year with the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, this is a huge pickup for them. Obviously, they lost Malcolm Jenkins, basically parted ways, and now he's down in New Orleans, so this backfield will look a little different, but I'm pretty sure they locked up Jalen Mills, so now you've got a pretty good tandem there at corner. And Darius Slay, look, he's always been Big Play Slay. You don't get a nickname like that just because it rhymes. So I think that's a huge addition to the Eagles. The one question I have now is offensively, they basically have lost 2 tackles. Jason Peters no longer there, and they lost Halapaluli Vaitai to the Detroit Lions.
Wow, you did that on the first try, too.
I'm sure I missed a vowel somewhere in there, but
wow.
Lane Johnson at right tackle. Now they're going to have to expect Dillard to step up, their first-round pick from last year at left tackle. So a couple of losses there offensively along with Jordan Howard, but defensively, that's a huge, huge pickup for them.
Kim, they had those leaders in there in Jenkins and Peters. Now they're gone. Now they bring in Slay, who's certainly going to make an impact on that defense.
Yeah, and he'll be expected to. And I feel like the times I was in Philadelphia last season and that Jim Schwartz was available to the media those days, that he spent a lot of time talking about injuries and injuries at cornerback. So clearly that's a position where you have to be healthy, you have to be whole, and there's no doubt that with his big playability that Darius Slay helps them there. And this is an Eagles team that we know what they have up front. So when you talk about the back end, and they'll have a spot to fill, obviously, with the Jenkins departure, but you're talking about a defense that's getting better overall, healthier, obviously, but better overall.
And Slay is going to be working with Jim Schwartz as well. They have familiarity with each other. As a matter of fact, his rookie season, it was Jim Schwartz. Final year there in Detroit. So that is certainly...
the Schwartz is with me.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Judy, you follow that up. Judy. You follow
awesome.
That up.
Thank you.
You go for it.
Look, I think familiarity is a theme here. It's great that he's familiar with Jim Schwartz. And one thing we keep coming back to is the Eagles have a real advantage in this division.
Yes.
It's a competitive division every year. They've got a real leg up this year, especially because there are new coaches in the rest of the division, and they may not get their teams together for months. So Doug Peterson and the Eagles are well ahead. And again, Slay can be dropped right in. Jim Schwartz obviously knows what he can do. That is going to be a real advantage when teams finally get together and get on the field, because we've said it before during this week. I think play is probably not going to be so pretty in the first few weeks for the NFL because they're not going to have a whole lot of time together. The Eagles will be together.
You know, Judy, you also look at an Eagles team that by the end of the season last year, were playing any able body at receiver.
Yeah.
And you look at this draft and, how it's I don't know, it's Thursday, it's been a long, I don't know. Howie is not a hard word to pronounce, by the way. Howie Roseman and his great staff down there with the Eagles. Sorry, Howie. You know that they are well aware that they can help themselves in this draft at receiver. So I think you're looking at the Eagles making some smart signings, making some smart acquisitions, knowing what the help they can get will be readily available in this draft.
All right, so Sean, what do you think about Carson Wentz now taking it to the next level?
Well, I mean, Carson Wentz, Kim just mentioned it. I mean, he was scraping the barrel at wide receiver, and yet he still found a way to will them to the playoffs. Time and time again, he came up with big-time throws, and, of course, a lot of them were to Zach Ertz. So I think just having a healthy group of wide receivers will definitely help. But I think the collateral effect of what I was just talking about, no Jason Peters, how does Dillard step up at left tackle, and Lane Johnson, can he be healthy at right tackle? So, this